back to today's lesson. This lesson is very interesting. We are going to learn something about the dice. So the dice in the math is just a cube with different figures and different numbers. So let's see, are today's problem as interesting as the dice? Okay, six figures were drawn, one on each side of a cube, as shown beside in different positions. So here, these two dice is actually the same one, but in different position. So on the side that doesn't appear beside is this drawing. So only the kangaroo doesn't appear in this dice. So what's the figure on the face opposite to it? Okay, let's observe. We need to find the opposite face of the kangaroo. So where is the position of the kangaroo? So here, after observation, these two pictures we can find, we already know one, two, three, four, five. Five figures, which means five faces of this dice. So the missing one gonna be the kangaroo. Okay, and let's observe. And one thing we find that's in common in these two pictures, we find they all have this triangle. And the figures are different around this triangle. What's this mean? This means like this side, we can know the around the figure, all around the four figures of the triangle. And we don't know is the opposite face of the triangle. That's gonna be very good. So that's missing one gonna be the kangaroo. And the question is asking the figure on the face opposite to kangaroo. Very good. So you just working backwards a little bit, you can find its triangle. So the answer is B. Okay, let's go. So six different numbers chosen from integers 1 to 9 are written on the faces of a cube. One number per face. The sum of the numbers on each pair of opposite faces is always the same. So six faces, right? How many pairs? Three pairs. How many sums? Three same sums. Very good. So which of the following numbers could have been written on the opposite side with the number 8? So we need to find the opposite face of the 8. So maybe we can just write down all these numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we have 9 numbers, and we only choose 6 numbers to write them down on each face. Okay, so let's see how we write it. If we need to find the answer for every face, it's a little bit hard. But the problem tells us one thing very important. So the sum, okay, the sum of the numbers on each pair of opposite faces is always the same. And we already know three faces. So that means 4 plus something equals 5 plus something equals 8 plus something. So here, let's see, what can we know from this equation? So if we plus together, that always means the sum gonna be larger. The sum is larger than 8, larger than 4, larger than 5, right? So if larger than 8, what about if the sum is 9? We can try some numbers to fill it. So if the sum is 9, so 8 plus 1 equals 9. But we can find 4 plus 5 is 9. So that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? So the sum can be 9. What about if the sum is 10? So if the sum is 10, 8 plus 2, 6 plus 4, and only thing, what about the 5? 5 needs another 5 to make a 10, but we only has one 5. No, 10 isn't okay. So let's try more. What about this 11? So if it's 11, 8 plus 3 and 5 plus 6 and 4 plus, yeah, 4 plus 7. That makes sense, right? So maybe if you are if you are feel you didn't feel confident about this answer, you can try more. What about this 12? So 11 is okay. What's the sum? If the sum is 12, so 8. So 8 gonna plus 4. So 4 and 8, they should be opposite. They can be adjacent. They can be next to each other. So 12 doesn't okay. What about 13? So if we want the 13, so what should we do? So the 4 needs a 9, it's 13. And 8 needs 5. So 8 and 5, they should be adjacent. They can be, yeah, they should be opposite. They can be adjacent. So 13, no. What about 14? Yeah, 14 is too big because it's 4 needs a 10, so we can make a 14, but we don't have 10. So it can't be larger anymore. So 11 is the final answer, and we can know that the opposite side of the 8 should be 3. Okay, I think the option is A. Yeah, it's A, so it should be 3. Okay, the last one. So this one, maybe it's a little hard because the dice roll a lot. But don't worry, once we write down one by one, it's so clear. Let's take a look together. So I think I need to move myself a little bit. Okay, I just here. And the sum of the points on the opposite sides of a common dice is 7, because we know that for a dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 faces, 6 numbers, and 1 and 6, they are a pair, and 2 and 5, and 3 and 4. Okay, because the sum is 7. This dice is placed in the first square, which is here, as shown in the figure, and then rolled as shown in the figure. So it's rolled to the right, right? Roll to the right, and roll in front, and right again to the fifth square, which means one, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and then to the last one. When the dice reach the last square, so what's the product of the number of the points shown on the two colored vertical faces? So here, one thing very important is asking the product. The product means we need to multiply together, and the result, we call it product. So, and here, let's see how many times the dice rolls. So here is the, let me give this position a name. This is the first one, and this is the second position, okay, second square, and this is the third square, and here is the fourth and fifth. The last one is gonna be the sixth, okay. And let's go. So here it rolls a lot, and it's hard to, if you don't use the real dice or you don't write something down, it's hard to just imagine. So maybe we can just write them down to make it clear. And before we roll the dice, here we need to, there are 2 tips. So here, as you can see, I prepare a cube. We know the dice is just a cube. So when this cube is rolled to the right and rolled to the left, the in front face, is it change? Very good. It never change, okay? The in front face doesn't change. And also the back face doesn't change. And what about like this? If I change like this, see, this time I roll in front. I roll in front. So this face, it's change, right? Okay, understand? Okay. So when the, okay, let's do a little summary. So when the cube, when the dice is roll right, left, the in front and the back doesn't change. But when it like do this, the side face doesn't change. The front and the back, they will change. Okay? Okay, let's go back to this problem. So here, we already know 3 faces. 1, 2, and 3. So for if we imagine or we write down the whole dice, is a little bit difficult. So we can go with one face. So we just stare at this face, this 2, okay? We just stare at this 2. So let's think. So this 2 face, When it's rolled to the second position, where is the 2? Very good. Doesn't change. Very good, okay? So for the 2, here is the second and the third and the fourth. Okay, here is the fourth one and here is the fifth one. Okay, so that means that every position we have a dice. So for the second one, the 2 is still at the front face. And what about the third one? It's rolls to the right and never change the front face. So it's also 2. So 2, 2. What about the fourth? So from the third position to the fourth position, it's roll in front. It's roll front. So that means, okay, let me show you. The front face, it's roll front. It's changed to the bottom face. So for the fourth one, the 2 gonna be at the bottom. Understand? The 2 gonna be here. And let's continue. From the fourth position to the fifth position, we roll right. When we roll right, here, let me draw you the direction. Is it clear? Oh, okay, here. It's roll to the right. So for the fifth position, where is the 2? It's gonna be here. Would you understand? Yes. And for the sixth one, so now for the sixth one, it's roll to the right again. Roll to the right. So this 2 gonna change to the top face. So here is the 2. So 2 is the top. Okay, so this is about the face 2. What about the face 1 with 1 dot? So let's just take a look one by one, because it's for the whole dice it's a little hard. So we just go with the 1. One face by one face. What about this one? Let's take a look. So from the first position to the second position, it's roll right. So this one is to the right position for the 1. And continue for the third position, it's gonna be here. Okay, it's gonna be here, gonna be this one. And if in front, what's gonna happen? If we in front, let's see. This one here. So now the 1 is this blue face. It's on the bottom. And this, oh, what happened? It's changed to the bottom. Okay, understand? It's changed to the bottom. So here, oh, it's changed to the back face. So 1 gonna be here. And what about the fifth one? Will it change? Never. So this back face never change. So for the fifth, the 1 is here. For the sixth, the 1 still be the back. But the 1 is the back. Can you know the front? Gonna be? Very good. The 1 is back. The opposite gonna be 6. So for the front face, it's 6. Okay, let's continue. Now we know about the 1. The last one is the 3. Let's take a look. So this 3 is from position 1 to second position. Roll right. So this one is gonna be the bottom. And continue roll right. It's be here. It's gonna be here. That's 3. And here, when it's roll in front, it's roll front. The side face doesn't change. So it's still 3 is here. And roll to the right, roll right. So it's gonna be here. And to the sixth one, it's right again, changing to the right. So 3 is here. We already know there's 2 numbers for the colored faces. So what about the product? 6 times 3, the product is 18. Okay, that's how we find it. It's hard to just imagine, but once you write them down, it's so clear. It's not difficult. Just need enough patience, okay? Have some patience for the math problem. And if you have free time, you can go find a real dice and play it. This can help you. Okay, that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Bye.